Welcome everybody. This is going to be a tour of the Rescue Center and Liberation Center of La Moskitia in Honduras. Let me know, Dr. Olds, if you are present right now and if you are connecting okay. I'm going to turn the camera around so everybody can see the Rescue Center. And we'll start formally in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, you can look at the Rescue Center. Sylvia, if you are on, Sylvia, si usted está presente. Hello, everybody. We're live here in La Mosquitia, Honduras. Estamos aquí en La Mosquitia de Honduras, esperando para comenzar. ¿Quién está aquí? Hola, Sylvia. Usted está aquí. Hola, Sylvia. This is going to be mostly in English, Sylvia, because we are hosting the veterinary class in Iowa with Dr. June Olds. So there won't be much Spanish, but Sylvia, if you could send this link, puede mandar este enlace a los grupos de WhatsApp y si usted puede comentar en español que yo... Let's see here. Um, you're having trouble hearing my voice. How about now? We're on satellite, so it could be really hard to hear my voice. I am now speaking louder. How about now? Is it working now, Dr. Olds? It probably will have trouble hearing because of the satellite disk, and it's also cloudy, and we have a lot of tall pine trees around us. So, welcome everybody. If you're here, you you can't hear me at all. Sylvia, can you hear me? So, Meredith hears me. Sylvia, ¿usted puede escucharme? Sylvia, can you hear me? Dr. Olds, June, maybe you need to unmute somehow in YouTube or somehow because the other people are hearing us. Uh, Meredith and Sylvia, are you still hearing me now? I'm still just chatting away. This is Reverend Dr. LoraKim Joyner at the Q and Liberation Center of Honduras. We're just getting started. I am talking really close to the mic. I am really talking close. So I think it's something in Iowa because Sylvia, you hear me really good, and Meredith hear me really good. So I think it's something in your system, Dr. Olds, that somehow you're not able to hear me. I don't know, turn off the volume, disconnect. I would also say disconnect and connect again. That'll help. Gracias, Sylvia. So maybe you can get out of YouTube and back in, Dr. Olds, to maybe fix the sound problem or call a technician. Yeah, I think it's the clouds here, you guys. I mean, uh, it shouldn't be raining right now, but it is raining right now. Yeah, so there's something going on with the sound system. Dr. Olds, what should we do? Should we switch platforms? Can you hear me well enough? Hola a todos, bienvenido a todos. Welcome everybody to a tour of the Rescue and Liberation Center of La Moskitia. This will be mostly in English. Just speak louder. I am almost yelling. How can you hear me now? I'm like really yelling. I'm 5 inches from my phone. How are we hearing us now in the vet school? Pienso que yo tengo que tener esto aquí, porque ellos no pueden escuchar mi voz muy bien. Pero yo pueda. While we're waiting for the sound to work, and maybe Dr. Olds wants to make some changes, uh, I'd like to introduce to you Joysi Coleman, and she is the medical assistant for our Rescue and Liberation Center. Ella está la asistente para el Centro de Rescate en Cosas Médicos. Hola, Joysi. And here is Anayda Pantin. She's the co-director of the Rescue Center. Hola, Anayda. They will both be available for questions in Spanish or English, and they will respond in Mosquito, which is the native language here. So, great, 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 great. So, they'll be part of the tour with me, and I'm going to show you who I am right now. And here I am. I'm Reverend Dr. LoraKim Joyner at the Rescue and Liberation Center. I'm having to hold this really close to my face because the sound's not working. We're on satellite disc. It's cloudy outside. It might rain. We have pine trees. So we don't know how this is going to go. But Sylvia is online and she can help you. Y Sylvia está aquí y puede traducir en español. So, oh, so yes, you can hear us now. Wonderful, Dr. Old. Did you want to make an introduction or should I just go, Dr. Olds? And here's the rescue center. Y también Silvia, y tal vez si usted pueda traducir en español también, si tenemos personas que están hablando español. So, June, tell me when you are ready for us to go. And if you have any problems or any questions, you can stop at any time. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start. So, hi, I'm the Reverend Dr. LoraKim Joyner here in La Moskitia, Honduras, at the Rescue and Liberation Center of La Moskitia. For the students in Iowa, I made a whole presentation of all the things I'm going to talk about, but we thought you'd want to see it live and talk to the real people who work here, Anayda and Joysi, and get to see some of the birds. So I'm here. I'm one of the many conservationists here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you on a tour of the rescue center, and I'm here to answer questions. And so are Anayda and Joysi here. Let me show you them. Quiero presentar otra vez Joysi Coleman y Anayda Pantin. Hola. They are here para answer questions. They run this 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So I am a wildlife veterinarian, universalist minister. I am here camping for 2 months with these communities here on our unconditional solidarity campaign. I'm only one of many people that make this work. So, Dr. Old, should I pause for a minute in case there are any questions now? Before I go on and talk about more things, any specific questions right now? I'm just pausing right now. So, what you're seeing right now, well, is my face. What you're seeing right now, these are our pre training cages for liberation. One side is scarlet macaws, an endangered species here in Honduras. Yellow naped Amazons only, another critically endangered species here in Honduras and around the world. But we do mix species in the same cages. Why do we mix species? Let's just go a little bit closer and see if the signal will work. So I'm getting closer to the case now. Let me know if you lose the sound or the video because I'm getting further away from the satellite. Here we go. How's it going so far, everybody? So the birds are in the shade. Warm here, maybe about, I don't know, 83, 84, 85 degrees here now. Seems pretty cool to me. And is it still transmitting okay? I'm walking away, but I want you to all be able to see the birds. I don't know if you can because the sun's so bad, but we can also go inside the cages. So, Dr. Olds, any questions from the students? Okay, so I'm not going to show my face, so I'm going to talk really loud now. Any questions? Any questions from the group? And I'm going to walk into the cage. So as I was saying, these are our holding cages where we have birds that are mending, birds that maybe in the future can be released, but most birds can never be released because in the pet bird trade, they have been injured and they have broken bones, they have fractured feet, and they're unable to fly. But we work with them, we train them, and we do everything we can so that they can fly free. Right, so Dr. Old wants to know how the birds got here. Josie, shall we go inside? Josie, ¿usted quiere entrar a la jaula conmigo? Y Anayda, no sé si usted quiere entrar conmigo. And please ask any questions. I will ask questions also of and of Anayda. They're the real heroes here. They are the ones that do the work. So now we're going to enter. Maybe this side, Josie, tal vez, este lado. Okay. So just keep asking questions. So here we go, here we go. I'm talking as close to the phone as I can, and I'm really yelling. So this is our Loro cage, our yellow-nape Amazon cage. So how do the birds get here? It is illegal to trap and sell parrots in most countries. And so these birds get here because they've been confiscated by the government and they need somewhere to go so that they can hopefully be released. So when the government confiscates illegal birds, they will bring them here. We also rescue wild young chicks that have fallen from the nest or have problems in the nest and they can't survive in their wild nest. So we bring them here and we are able to care for them here. Right. So Sylvia can't be released. So everybody in this cage right now, we've mixed species, cannot be released. Cannot be released. So I'm going to pause a minute so you all can hear the voices of the real people that work. I only come a couple times a year, but let's hear from all of the people here. So Josie, I'm going to ask, yo voy a preguntar una pregunta, tal vez corta, no mucho español. Tal vez puede explicar brevemente su trabajo aquí y por qué existe el centro de rescate.
Mi trabajo es estar examinando las varas, estar monitoreando, estar observando a ver si ellos están enfermos, a veces estresados. Entonces creo que ese es mi trabajo, estar ayudando a Anayda, ¿verdad? Entonces a mí me gusta mucho este trabajo porque yo siento que yo he aprendido más. Antes yo no sabía nada sobre cómo cuidar las aves, cómo observar a ver cuando ellos están enfermos, pero gracias ahora he aprendido más por parte de la doctora y igual por parte de Diana también. Siento que he aprendido mucho, a mí me gusta ese trabajo y quiero aprender más para el futuro. futuro, que a mí me gusta mucho. Bueno, aquí tenemos las aves que
Yo voy to un poquito. So Josie's just saying how much she likes her job here because she's learned so much. Her job is to help Anayda as the director. She's here to really check on how the birds are doing. We use weighing birds as a primary diagnostic here to see how their health is doing. So she weighs birds, takes notes, takes a lot of pictures, and sends them to the two veterinarians that work here who do one lives in the other part of Honduras, and I live mostly in the United States. So it's her job to communicate, to do treatments, to do bandage changes. And she started not knowing anything, and now she has so much responsibility. Uh, right. So, Mas Josie?
bueno, aquí tenemos a los loros. Hoy hemos trasladado para la jaula de liberación pripálisa, hemos trasladado dos, tres, perdón, y tenemos tres más que ellos no pueden volar. Tenemos uno que es fractura vieja y más que igual no pueden volar. Tenemos cinco guaras que igual no pueden volar, a veces por la salud económico, ¿verdad? Ellos están poco enfermos, que fracturados viejos, entonces ellos no pueden volar, entonces estamos cuidando aquí en la jaula.
Okay, so saying that right now we have three critically endangered yellow-nape Amazons here and five scarlet macaws that are also endangered. None of these birds, I will say, can ever be released. They have permanent injuries of most of them have old wing fractures, which happens when the poachers cut down trees because they can't climb them and the trees fall and the birds break their wings. And we don't have orthopedic surgery here. So we can't fix them. We can bandage them, and if they learn to fly, they learn to fly. So most of these birds here life that they possibly can. So that and today we moved three birds, three yellow-nape Amazons from this cage that had been here for over 2 years, and we moved them to our training cage where they'll fly and be stressed so that they can learn to fly. Any more questions from the group there? Uh, right. So the un pregunta es ¿cuántas aves tenemos en el centro ahora? ¿Y cuántos están en la jaula de guardas ahora? How many are in this cage right now?
Ahorita en la jaula tenemos, en jaula lado derecho, tenemos cinco guaras, tenemos tres loros. Lado izquierdo tenemos siete, siete guaras y tenemos una guara verde.
And in,
Y en Pripali
okay, so Josie's saying somebody asked how many we have. Uh, we we have let's see, five. We have eight in this cage. We have eight in the neighboring cage, and our training cage that you can see way back there to get as far away from people as possible. We have six macaws being trained for release and three yellow nape Amazons to be trained for release. Um, so one question is, what is the long term? Uh, how is this going to be for birds who cannot be released? This is a real problem around the world. So many parrots that are confiscated cannot be released for psychological reasons, behavioral reasons, physical reasons, such as these birds that have broken wings or who have wings that have been so atrophied they cannot extend and we can't train them to be able to fly. So they're going to live 60, 70, 80 years in this cage. That's their life. So what we try to do to make their life as good as possible is give them different kinds of foods, let them bathe, give them toys, see who their friends are so they can stay with their friends and keep them in the best health as possible. But someone has to take care of this rescue center for the next 80 years because that's how long these birds are going to live here. And for people who run rescue centers and sanctuaries in the United States and here, it's a real burden. It hurts our hearts because we're not going to be alive long enough to be able to make sure that these birds get the care that they need. And where's the money going to come from? You know, this center cost in lempiras, oh, I don't know, 27,000 lempiras. This costs about $1,000 a month to run this center on the bare minimum. And so this is what we feel the illegal pet trade does here. All these birds in that are going to have to live their life in cages because they cannot be released. And this is just one of the side impacts of the wildlife trade that injures these birds. Yo voy a preguntar a Anayda. Anayda, una de las preguntas de los estudiantes. Nosotros está
Sí puede.
sí. It's a complicated question. I mean, for a good life, for high welfare, birds need to reproduce, have chicks. They love nest boxes. They love each. I use the word love, but they pair up. They have friends. But we do not want to reproduce birds. We don't want more birds. We want the birds in the field, in the wild, to be producing birds. We don't want to be in the business of reproducing birds here. And if we put nest box inside of these cages, they would start being territorial and they would hurt each other. So we don't set up. We have artificial nest boxes all around the village. So birds that can't fly well, we still take them outside of their cage, and if they can't fly well, they can reproduce. So that's what we try to do is have everyone go outside so that they can reproduce. Right. So I'm going to ask a question of Anayda. ¿Por qué usted quiere trabajar aquí en el centro? ¿Por qué usted hace esto? Why do you do this work? And she'll answer in Mosquito, and then Josie. Why do you care for the birds?
Baranawas kau na haday tiya uya bamita yang kau wan kay narabri waya dukira day wara na walpata kis na yang day wara na latwans na bamita pata. Ella dice que ella desde años atrás que a ella siempre le ha gustado, incluso ella tenía dos parejas en su casa que a ella siempre le ha gustado los animales, ¿verdad? Más las guaras, las aves, que a ella siempre le ha encantado, que es algo importante para ella, para el futuro, dice ella, que podemos pensar y cuidar para nuestra naturaleza, que a ella le gusta el trabajo también, de estar trabajando en el centro, que ella está muy emocionada y que ahora está más contenta porque mira que hay más aves, que ya no son dos, que ahora son más, que a ella le gusta mucho y está muy contenta.
Okay, so try to do that in English now. Anayda says she's very pleased with this rescue center and doing the work here. It started with just rescuing, I think it was like 7 birds in 2011. Parrots of La Moskitia. So she takes care of them here so we can release them. Una pregunta de ellas es si separamos los machos de las hembras en las jaulas. No. Village. There's no electricity. There are no laboratories that can run maybe just a couple diagnostic tests in other parts of Honduras that we have to do a 4 hour drive to the local town, Puerto Limpiera, and then we have to send them on a small plane to Tegucigalpa, and there aren't any laboratories that run avian diagnostics. So we don't know what sex they are. We really don't even know what their diseases are here. We just have to manage what we see and support them as much as we can and do high quality management so they don't get sick. But a traditional we have a whole laboratory, we have microscopes here, but we can only do like hemograms and fecal analysis. It's very, very basic. But if we weren't here, been released and that are flying all over and reproducing. We have F2 generations now. So we don't like to see them in cages. We try to get them out. We do everything we can, but some birds just cannot be released. Let's see. Other questions? It's still in English. Um, do we identify them? All birds are banded with lifetime bands, but once they've been released, you can't read the bands. That's too far away. Only tell if they've been banned. So, and wild birds here. So when we see birds with bands, we don't know if they came from a wild nest or one of our released birds. So in short, we cannot identify them, but we do when we're out in the field look for bands to see if they were one of our liberated birds, and that's how we mostly know. We don't microchip any released birds because we'll never catch them again. That's the whole idea. We won't catch them. However, some of these birds, it's a problem with all rescue centers. They are used to people. Some of them want to be around people, and so that they can be recaptured by local communities. This is a problem everywhere. And so we have the bands, so we know they're ours. And if we had a microchip reader, we would be able to know where they are. But we're working across the border in Nicaragua, and so it's really difficult to know who's who. But in other hard, they're able to free hundreds of birds that would otherwise be. Um, let's see. Right. Tenemos un número máximo que podemos cuidar aquí. Eh, Recuerdo cómo CF quiere dar muchos animales a nosotros y nosotros decimos no más. So, la pregunta es, ¿cuántas aves podemos cuidar en estos dos lados?
Sector, todo.
Es solo estos dos.
Ah,
¿Qué piensa? ¿Cuántas?
tal vez podríamos cuidar más.
A few more, huh?
Ujú.
Tal vez poquito más.
Sí,
Um,
poquito más para.
so here's the problem. Um, these cages are really expensive to make, especially way out here. So we have had to tell the government to quit bringing us birds that cannot be released. We can't take them. They live 80 years. Who's going to pay? We have limited cages. We're already mixing species, which we don't want to do, but we've had to do. So we could take more. We have had more in these two cages, and that's why we try to liberate them as much as possible. If young chicks come in, we move them to another home, another house, and we raise the chicks there, and then move them right into our release cage. But we can take escuchar. Um, Still live here? Oh, good. I'm still live. Speaking as loud as I can. Let's show them fractura, shall we? Shall we go over here and show them this parrot? Vamos a enseñar ellas fractura. So here is a yellow-naped Amazon on union of the humerus on the right wing. We've had this bird for almost 10 years, and you can see the droop in the wing because we were not able to do surgery and pen the bird. This bird was actually a wild adult that had been injured outside of her cavity or his cavity and been attacked by a hawk, probably. And so the bird was a very, very wild and came in, and the bird's now been with us for 8 years. And this bird runs the cage. This bird just has friends and welcomes everybody. And even though it has a wing that can never fly, seems to have fairly high welfare considering the circumstances. So that's one of our cases. Okay, so I'm still trying to. Okay, so we're going to go back out closer to the satellite dish so we can keep answering questions because we are having trouble with the transmission. Tenemos que regresar porque estamos poco lejos de la disca. Okay, so we're walking back out. So you can see how long this holding cage is. So all the birds can fly. All of them can fly. So getting closer to the satellite disk. I hope is it getting better? Can anyone answer us if we're getting better? If you can hear me better? Here we go. Going outside closer to the satellite disk. Let me show you the system of how we are transmitting. So here's our Starlink disk and a portable battery. It's facing north, and that's how we're able to do this. Because we don't have Wi-Fi here. We don't have electricity. We don't have cell phone towers here. So you are seeing the best we can do, and I'm sorry it's very good. And I'm trying to talk as loud as I can talk. So one of the questions, do the poachers evade your volunteers in the military to the nest? They do. We can't stop the poaching. There's patrols from the community. This year we have military. We're doing an unconditional solidarity campaign, which means that I'm camping out with the villagers to make a lot of noise saying, do you know that if we weren't here, 100% of the nests used to be poached here? They're being trapped so they can be sold around the world. Just today, 261 eggs 261 eggs were captured in the Netherlands that came from Central America. Those were our eggs. We had a whole bunch of poached nests over the last couple of weeks. And they watch us, they come in at night, they move, they know how to evade us. And so it's almost impossible for us to protect all the nests. We lose about 1 in 4 nests to poaching. And the only reason why we save that many is because people are sleeping in the fields. They're sleeping under nests. I'm sleeping under nests because we don't want one more nest taken for the pet trade to be sold around the world. So our approach as a veterinarian, I grew up, doing clinical medicine. That's what I came to do. But what these birds need is for the demand for pet birds to stop. That is the best way to keep in this area to keep populations flourishing and to not have birds end up in cages that you just saw. We need to not buy and sell and trap birds because that would be the and anti-trafficking. And then we also have to do this work with the rescue center. And so that's why we're doing the solidarity campaign right now, is because we alone cannot stop the low welfare. As veterinarians, as community members, as indigenous people, we can't stop it. We need people to quit buying and selling birds. And we also need more participation, more people camping with us, more people telling the story that if these people weren't here risking their lives, they would have 100% poaching. So partly what we do here is what we call transformative conservation. You can see it in the slideshow that I gave, is that we have to change our inner relation to how we relate to others, to people, and to birds. So we see them as having inherent worth and dignity, and we have to change our societies. Uh, Most of the poaching here is done by a few families who do it as a business, but there's also a need of wanting more choice and more economic livelihood for their people. So we need to change our society so it's more just, so people get paid for good work and can take care of their birds. This entire project costs about $80,000 a year. That's the salary of one fairly well paid forest ranger in the United States. It doesn't take much to give these people livelihoods and to give these birds a chance to fly free. And that was a sermon. So let me come back and see if we have any questions, and we'll come back to Anayda and Joysi here. Yo estoy predicando mucho para no atrapar las aves. Uh, right, so let's see, are there any more questions? More people. Okay, so Dr. Olds, do you have any more questions you'd like to ask for us? Anything you'd like to uh, complement what we've been talking about here so far? And I can answer technical questions on rescue and release. ¿Ustedes tienen preguntas para las personas en los Estados Unidos? Preguntas para ellas. ¿Usted tiene preguntas para ellas en los Estados Unidos? Anayda is saying thank you so much. We're all hot and it's lunchtime. So maybe she's saying she'd like to go. So, but ellos están aquí para escuchar su mensaje. ¿Qué más quiere decir?
yang nanida kan yang nani kaunik katara bulbangus na daywan nani wal pata ki bangus na bara kau ayo da pumai ki bangbe yang nanida da ella dice que está agradecida y que ella desea que para el futuro tal vez los puedan ayudar más con la atención, el cuidado de las aves acá. Entonces ella dice que sí, es necesario que ella está pidiendo un poco de ayuda más, ¿verdad? Como tenemos más aves, entonces necesitamos más ayuda.
So that translation, Anayda was saying, is asking for some help because we've had to tell the government. Can these birds be moved to zoos for educational? And now I'm going to, it's controversial to use live parrots for education. Many people frown on that because it often it's difficult to give the correct message that birds do not belong in captivity. And so when you you have a bird like at a show or somewhere, people say, I want one, I want one, I want one. And so generally people do not use live birds and take them places, or such as giving them to zoos, because it's really hard to deliver the complex message of conservation. Also, the zoos here in Honduras are full. They may take, it's hard to take care of birds here in Honduras. We don't have the resources. So moving them from here to zoos is not very helpful. And also the zoos in Tegucigalpa, it's been a while since I've taught there, but they have lots of parrots there. And but you're right, we need educational programs. We need high quality education programs throughout Honduras and here, so people can get the message that birds want to fly free. The indigenous people are losing their macaws because the world wants birds, and so we want to give that message. Also, people come here to learn and be taught. That's part of the unconditional solidarity. We have students visiting us almost every week here, and so we use the birds here and the people here to give that message. Okay, so Josie, ¿usted tiene algunas palabras que usted? I'm asking Josie what she would like to say before we all go. Sorry about that. We got cut off. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Um, the question was, how do you recognize a chick if they come from the wild or not? It's really hard. But some way, no. So basically, you can't. But one is, do you know of any breeders in the area in the United States that are producing that bird? So if it's a rare bird and no produce that bird, you can be strongly suspicious. A lot of birds, young birds, chicks come through. You go, how can one facility breed that many? So again, you can be really suspicious. Now, there's people are doing research on this, so you can track the particular genetic signature of the birds to be able to tell exactly where they came from. We don't have that technology here in Honduras. We don't have the studies, but it is feasible that you could take a blood sample and say, well, that bird came from Nicaragua. It was not bred here. And so there's ways that we can do that. We don't quite have that technology to help in the wildlife trade as of yet. So any other questions or comments? I know we're about 10 of the hour. How did this go? How was it? Was it better than a live presentation? What did the students say? Was it better than slides? Um, Also, if you have any questions, you have my email. You get on. You can join the solidarity campaign. Go to our website, click on the WhatsApp groups, join our WhatsApp groups. Look on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. We post nearly every day, and you keep asking your questions and learning, and we'll try to respond to you as well as we can. So, any other questions or comments now before we go? Let's get away from my face so we can see the birds. What can a vet do if they suspect trafficking? Call the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Call them, get them involved, make a report, and they'll guide you into knowing that what you can do. But do report it. Thank you. I will let Josie and Anayda know that their work is going so great. Any other questions, comments? So, las estudiantes y la profesora quiere decir muchísimo gracias por su tiempo y dice que su trabajo es excelente.
Gracias, igual.
So I'm just saying that you are appreciating their work and that it's great work that they're doing. Uh, are we done? Should we sign off? Please join our campaign. Sylvia, maybe you could put our website and puede poner nuestra página web y que ellos puedan estar parte de la campaña because necesitamos todas las personas. We need everybody to be part of the solidarity campaign, to get the word out, to see how we work here. So please join our solidarity campaign. Watch recordings and get into our WhatsApp, and you too can be part of this movement so that we can all live better lives. Thank you. Bye-bye.